There comes a moment in every life when the dream begins to die, when the voices get louder and hope gets quieter, when giving up feels easier than holding on. This is that moment. This is the story of Arian, a young man who almost gave up until one final try changed everything. Arian had always dreamed of becoming a national athlete, not for fame, not for glory, but because running gave him something he couldn't find anywhere else. Freedom. The track was the only place where he didn't feel judged, where he didn't feel small. But life doesn't reward passion with success, not right away. 3 times he tried, 3 times he failed, just a few seconds too slow, just a little too tired, just a little too late. People started to talk. Maybe he's not built for this. Time to move on. And the worst voice of all was his own. That night he sat in silence. The room was quiet, but inside his mind was loud. What's the point? I gave everything, and I still failed. He stared at the walls, at the medals he never won, at the shoes gathering dust, at the dream he buried under exhaustion and doubt. But then he remembered something his father once told him as a child. You don't fail when you lose. You fail when you stop getting up. He hadn't thought about those words in years, but that night they echoed louder than the fear. And for the first time in weeks, he felt something other than defeat. The next morning, the world was still dark, but Arian was already awake, tying his shoes, stepping outside, breathing cold air into tired lungs. No cameras, no crowd, just one man, trying again. He didn't run fast, but he ran. And the next day, he ran again and again. Every day, a little farther. Every failure, a little quieter. Until the silence in his heart was replaced with something new. Resolve. In those quiet days, he learned more than he ever had. He learned that pain is a teacher, not an enemy. That failure is not the end, but the path. He studied his form, trained his breath, tracked every millisecond. And in between the discipline, he learned to forgive himself, to be proud of trying, because when you stop chasing perfection, you start becoming unstoppable. He stopped comparing himself to others and started comparing himself to who he was yesterday. 6 months later, the qualifying race arrived. He stood at the line, not as the favorite, not even on anyone's radar, but this time, he didn't need validation. He was already winning. The whistle blew. The race began. He ran like the ground owed him nothing, and he owed himself everything. When it was over, he didn't come first, but he qualified by just 0.03 seconds. A blink, a breath, a reminder that sometimes it's the smallest victories that matter the most. Today, Arian trains young athletes. He tells them about that night, the one where he almost quit, and about the morning after, the one that changed his life. Because sometimes the difference between giving up and greatness is just one more try. So if you're tired, if you're broken, if you're ready to give up, I have one thing to say to you. Don't. Not tonight. Not today. You've come too far to stop now. If this story gave you strength, share it. You never know who needs it today. And remember, your next step could be the one that changes everything.